Hello people of YouTube, what's up? Zach is from Ghost AI on YouTube. Coming at you guys with another video. Today's video is on the PlayStation 3. This is the third iteration of the PlayStation 3. There was the original there was the original fat PlayStation 3. Then there was the Slim, and then the Super Slim. Much like the Xbox 360, but I will talk about it in the Xbox 360 video, which should be up tomorrow, hopefully, or sometime this week. Hopefully, yes, sometime this week, the Xbox 360 video will be out. So a little bit about the PlayStation. The PlayStation 3, he was released back in 2006, 1 year after the Xbox 360 launched in 2005. And yes, I will talk about that in the 360 video. In 2006, when the PlayStation 3 was originally released, it had a ludicrously high. I remember my dad getting one of these, and one of the things I remember about it is the PlayStation 3 had, in some people's opinions, a really, really crappy launch lineup. Not only that, but it had an absolutely ludicrously high price tag of like $799 or something like that, like $799.99 or something absolutely crazy. And I wouldn't call that launch price justified, but I will get onto that in a little while. So design-wise, it's not the prettiest looking console ever. If you're really going to give the design award to any of the consoles in the 7th generation, I'd say the Xbox 360 Slim, because that was a beautiful console. Looked absolutely amazing. This one, while it's not unbearable to look at, Xbox One, it's not the prettiest console either. I mean, some people say it looks like a George Foreman grill, and frankly, I don't disagree with them. I mean, see, like, where these lines are is like the part, it's like the part of the grill you lift up to put the food in. But yeah, as I've said, it's not the prettiest console ever. Nor was the Wii, for that matter. I mean, but I'll get onto that. I'll get onto the Wii in its video. Yeah. So, specs on this guy, and I'm not exactly sure of the specs, so I will list them off on my phone once I pull it up. So yeah, I'm going to read off the specs of the PlayStation 3. So let's see. Okay, so here we go. It had a 3 so the CPU in this, so the CPU in the PlayStation 3 is Well, I said the cost was slightly justified. Well, the CPU in this thing, in the PlayStation 3, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, it was absolutely ahead of its time for when it was released back in 2005, and today, hey, the PlayStation 3 is one of the most powerful game consoles you can get currently, as this thing is equipped with the Cell Broadband engine, which yeah, the Cell Broadband engine is PowerPC it's PowerPC based, like the Wii and the Xbox 360, and so what made the Cell Broadband engine interesting and unique is because it had it was one of the first her CPUs. Yeah, it was one of the first octa-core CPUs, and what I mean by that is it's not like CPU cores that we think of today, where the entire load, where the application load is spread out amongst the different cores. Now, each core in the Cell Broadband engine does something different. Like one core handles lighting, one core handles light. For example, one core handles lighting and physics, and the other core handles AI and environment rendering. And yeah, each core does its own different task to enhance the gaming experience. Now, as I said, it's PowerPC based. With a clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. It's got one VMX vector per core. Which it also has the Cell Broadband engine also has 512 kilobytes of level 2 cache, 7x sequential processors, each with 3.2 gigahertz each. As well as for the GPU, this also has the PlayStation 3 has an equally powerful GPU, which is the RSX Reality Engine, which was actually developed in conjunction with NVIDIA. So that was pretty interesting. Which has 1.8 teraflops of floating point performance, which is really solid, super solid. Now, some of the things that the PlayStation 3 had, long before its competitor, I'll get onto that later, that made the PlayStation 3 an extremely advanced extremely advanced console, especially extremely advanced console for its time. One of the reasons is, of course, its incredibly powerful CPU and GPU. The PlayStation 3 was also the first to introduce the Blu-ray technology, which was at the time developed a proprietary disc format developed by Sony originally for the PlayStation 3. So this machine was capable of playing games and movies at 1080p, long before the Xbox One and PS4 could do that. And that was in 2005. So this thing was able to play 1080p movies and games all at 60 frames per second for 2005. That was insane. Like, no one had ever heard of that kind of compute power outside of, say, like a government or university he owns supercomputer. So, and fun fact, the U.S. Air Force actually has a supercomputer comprised of like 150 or so PlayStation 3s. It's crazy, I know. That's because of the PlayStation 3's his ability to run Linux. You can actually sideload various Linux distros on the PlayStation 3 if you really wanted to. So, yeah. The first model to be released is the PlayStation 3 Fat, which came in, I think which came in either 20 gigabytes or 60 gigabytes. Then in 2010, the same time, Microsoft released their updated Xbox 360, the Xbox 360 Slim. This guy was released. This is the PlayStation 3 Slim. This is not the PlayStation 3 Fat. Now, I had a PlayStation 3 Fat for a number of years, but it sadly died, and I had to give it away or recycle it. I still have the case somewhat. I still have the hard shell. I still have the shell around somewhere. Just sad face. But yes, this was an incredibly powerful and incredibly capable machine, especially for 2005. That came with a drawback, though. Because the cell processor was so crazy, and it was like insanely powerful. Well, for the time, not a lot of developers. The cell processor was extremely powerful, but it was also a pain in the ass to develop for. It was extremely difficult for developers to write games that took full potential of what the cell processor and what the RSX reality synthesizer were capable of. Which is why when the PlayStation 4 was released, Sony used the much wider used x86 Higgs architecture, which was much easier to code for, especially the Xbox, especially the Xbox One, where it basically used essentially PC parts, much like the PlayStation 4, except the PlayStation 4 used GDDR5 RAM, and the Xbox One did not, making the PlayStation 4 only slightly more powerful than the Xbox One. Yeah. So, first, now that that's out of the way, let us do a hardware tour of this guy. So on the top here, you have a shiny little silver PlayStation logo. Pretty cool. Below that, you have your slot loading Blu-ray drive. which has since become standard on for the current generation in consoles, Xbox One and PS4. I don't know if the Wii U still uses game discs, but I'll get onto that in the Wii video. Below that you have your physical power and eject buttons, which is one thing that I liked so much more about the Slim than the original fat PlayStation 3, because the capacitive buttons on the original PlayStation 3 were extremely sensitive. Like, I swear, like even something as small as like a little speck of dust goes anywhere near the sensor, it turns on. Like, it was really sensitive. Which is why Sony now uses physical clicky buttons, which I much prefer. Yes. Below that, you have your hard drive slot, and I will give props to Sony for including a hard drive. I'm looking at you, Microsoft. God. And next to that, or across from that, sorry, you have your network and hard drive LEDs, as well as 2 USB 2 ports. On the left side, you have nothing. On the right side, you have nothing. Also, I forgot to mention, on the front of the hard drive bay, you might not be able to see it because the camera I used to film is a piece of crap. It's got different logos. It's got Blu-ray, DVD, a compact disc, Dolby Digital Plus, Dolby True HD, DTS Master Audio, Bluetooth, and HDMI. So, yeah. Also, on the back, you have a vent. Below that, you have your AC in, AV multi-out, optical audio, HDMI, and Ethernet, and as well as another vent. Yeah, one thing I have to give it, one thing I didn't like about the PlayStation 3, was, for one, its design, and then 2, it only has 2 USB ports, and as far as I know, they're only there to charge the controllers. I mean, my God, Sony. Jeez. Seriously. So, speaking of which, let us move on to the controller. So let's move the console out of the way and grab the DualShock 3 controller. Some people like this controller, some people don't. I, for one, do not. And I will show you for why in a minute. So, on the front, you have your X, circle, square, and triangle action buttons. You have your start and select buttons, your PlayStation multifunction button. You have your D-pad, which is a lot spongier than the one on the 360, but I'll get onto the 360 video. On the top here, you have a mini USB. heat for charging the controller, as well as 4 little LEDs that tell you which controller this is. So if it's controller 1, the little LED will be lit up on 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and so forth. Your nice clicky controller buttons, and the super spongy trigger buttons. Now, this is what I don't like about the PlayStation 3. Is its controller. I swear, my dad is like, he swears by these controllers. I, for one, I don't like it because I don't like it because of like the build quality. It just feels light. It feels like it doesn't have a whole lot of heft to it. I swear, like, look at it. It could just, I feel like this could just fly out of my hand right now. The build quality is, in my opinion, not as good. And these analog hug triggers, I mean, these analog sticks, like, they're not on the 360 controller. There's a little indent where both your thumbs go to keep them from sliding off. This does not have that. So it means, I mean, they tried to mitigate that by making the analog sticks out of this like grippy rubber, but I mean, still, they just slide off. And just, yeah, I don't like it. That doesn't mean it's not a comfortable controller, because it is. It is a very comfortable controller. I just, myself, prefer the Xbox 360 controller. So yeah, that's that. Both fortunately and unfortunately, I do not have the PlayStation Move that I can show you with. That's one of the peripherals that was released for the PlayStation 3 in the later iterations. So yeah, that was the So yeah, all in all, the PlayStation 3 was an amazingly powerful whole system for its time. It had a lot of things that today we take for granted, like Blu-ray, rechargeable control. Blu-ray, rechargeable controllers. It added things like added things like the trophy system, which is basically Sony's version of achievements. And here's another thing it got right. Here's another thing Sony got right that I really wish they'll bring back, is Sony did not require you to have an online membership to play online. They didn't. Yeah, Sony didn't make you pay to play online, which is awesome. Basically, if you have a PlayStation 3, you automatically have a PlayStation Network account, and you can automatically play online. You didn't have to pay. I mean, you could pay for PlayStation Plus if you really wanted to, but really all that gave you was like access to DLC early, and where Xbox Live Gold does now is basically gives you like 1 or 2 free games every month. So you don't have to buy PlayStation Plus if you really don't want to. You can still play online. So yeah, much like the PC actually. So as I was saying, in conclusion, the PlayStation 3 was an incredibly powerful system for its time. It brought a lot of things that you take for granted in it, like Blu-ray, like Blu-ray capabilities, blue, Bluetooth, Bluetooth controllers, which meant hints that yeah, it brought things like Bluetooth youth controllers, which was awesome because because it meant that you didn't have to buy one of those stupid dongles that you have to plug into your computer. You just pair it up and it'd work, which was awesome. Yes, it brought things like, as I've said, Blu-ray support, Bluetooth controllers, rechargeable controllers, and a whole host of other things. And much like the Xbox 360, there is thousands of games available for the PlayStation 3, as well as some really solid exclusives like Killzone, Uncharted, and Gran Turismo. And yes. Now, PlayStation 3s, as much as they have gone down in price, they have gone down in price, but not by much. You can buy a PlayStation 3 eSlim new for $135, like $135.97 or something. I got mine for free, which was awesome. How can you go wrong with free stuff? Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna go to that. But yes, the PlayStation 3s definitely have gone down in price a little bit. They are going to be more expensive than, say, an Xbox 360, just because for what they are and what they offered for the time. But if you're in the market for one, I would say, hey, pick one up. They're really reliable. It's a really worthwhile system to have. Lots of great games. As well as there's still games as of March 5th, 2016. There's still games being developed for it. So, yeah. Great, very powerful system for its time. Introduced a lot of amazing features. And yeah. Not only that, but the PlayStation 3 is over 9 years old now. So it's coming up on the Xbox 360 in terms of age. It's crazy. So yeah, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Oh yes, stay tuned for the Xbox 360 video coming up either tomorrow or sometime next week. As well as more videos from the new Looking Back series coming up soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. See you guys.